Imagine a city taller than the tallest skyscraper, stretching for miles, built not by people or machines, but by creatures no bigger than a thumb. These cities house thousands of species, protect coastlines, and store ancient records of Earth's climate. How do tiny animals build structures this huge, stone by stone, skeleton by skeleton, under crushing water? Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact tools, numbers, and hidden teamwork that raise these underwater metropolises. A coral reef is a living, growing structure made mainly by reef-building corals, small animals called polyps that secrete hard skeletons of calcium carbonate. Over generations, those skeletons stack, cement, and turn patches of reef into the complex three-dimensional habitats we call reefs. Reefs are not just coral. Algae, coralline algae, certain seaweeds, and other calcifiers also produce the mineral mortar that holds the city together. This slow-building process is literally biological architecture. Growth speed depends on coral type. Massive corals, the slow, bulky builders, add about 0.3 to 2 centimeters per year. Fast-growing branching corals can add up to roughly 10 centimeters in a year. That means a single coral colony can take decades to centuries to reach the size of a small tree, and entire reef structures can require thousands to tens of thousands of years to form their full shapes. These are the working speeds of the architects. Each polyp secretes a tiny ring of calcium carbonate under its tissue. When that polyp dies, the skeleton remains, and new polyps build on top. But corals are not the only masons. Coralline algae, some calcifying sponges, and certain green algae also precipitate calcium carbonate, sometimes producing more mineral mass than corals in local patches. Together, these producers create the reef's framework and fill gaps with rubble that later cements into rock. Scientists measure reef building by how much calcium carbonate is produced per area each year. In rich, shallow reef zones, gross production can reach several kilograms of calcium carbonate per square meter per year. Classic measurements indicated values near 4 kilograms of calcium carbonate per square meter per year in productive reef flats, with some exceptionally productive sites approaching 9 to 10 kilograms of calcium carbonate per square meter per year. But net rates vary. Many modern reefs show much lower or even negative net production, where erosion and bioerosion exceed growth. Restoration projects that actively plant fast-growing corals have recorded positive net carbonate production around 3.6 kilograms of calcium carbonate per square meter per year in restored plots. Those numbers tell us reefs can be powerful carbonate factories, but only under healthy conditions. Reefs are in constant balance. Builders versus breakers. Bioeroders, fish, urchins, boring sponges, grind or dissolve skeletons. Storm waves and hurricanes physically break up structures into rubble. Chemical dissolution becomes stronger under acidified waters. In many places today, bioerosion plus dissolution and storm damage can outweigh the coral's ability to rebuild, turning reefs from net accreting to net eroding systems. That's why location and local conditions matter so much. Recent high-resolution mapping revises the global picture. Shallow reef area estimates are on the order of a few 100,000 square kilometers. One recent study mapped roughly 348,000 square kilometers of shallow reef platform and about 80,000 square kilometers of actively thriving coral habitat. Though other mapping efforts report somewhat different totals, up to around 420,000 square kilometers. The slight differences come from definitions and mapping methods, but the point is the same. Coral reefs occupy a surprisingly small fraction of the ocean, yet support vast biodiversity. Reefs become cities by building complexity. As skeletons accumulate, cavities, overhangs, and ledges form. Coral frameworks trap sand and rubble, which gets cemented by crystose coralline algae, creating terraces, lagoons, and reef slopes. Over time, these spaces provide niches for fish, crustaceans, mollusks, and countless microbes. A single square kilometer of reef can host thousands of species. On a global scale, reefs support at least a quarter of all marine species, despite covering less than 1% of the seafloor. That structural complexity is the essence of reef cities. Large reef features, barrier reefs, and atolls form over geological time. Depending on coral growth rates and sea level history, full reef systems can take thousands to millions of years to reach their current size and shape. For example, reef rims and atolls commonly require tens of thousands to millions of years of steady growth and burial to create the massive structures we map today. Patience is built into reef architecture. Reef structures break wave energy and reduce coastal erosion. Economically and ecologically, they matter enormously. Coral reefs provide coastal protection, fisheries, and tourism. Global assessments estimate the annual value of reef goods and services in the trillions of dollars, with tourism alone accounting for tens of billions annually. In short, reef cities are natural coastal infrastructure that protect lives and livelihoods. Today, many reefs face rapid threats. Rising ocean temperatures cause mass bleaching. Ocean acidification reduces calcification rates, and local pollution and overfishing strip reef resilience. Where corals are stressed, growth slows. Where stress is chronic, reefs shift from building to losing ground. That's why even locations that once built reefs quickly are now showing low or negative net carbonate balances. This is not an abstract risk. It's measurable in kilograms of calcium carbonate per square meter per year. Active restoration techniques, growing and planting fast-growing corals, stabilizing rubble, and restoring herbivores that control algae, can push degraded sites back into net carbonate production. Recent restoration trials showed restored plots producing more than 3 kilograms of calcium carbonate per square meter per year, compared with nearby erosive plots. Still, restoration must be coupled with reducing warming, pollution, and overfishing to succeed at scale. Where local stresses are removed and corals have good water quality and protection, reefs can recover faster than you might expect. Branching corals repopulate voids quickly, reefs can re-cement rubble, and biodiversity returns, often within decades rather than centuries, in ideal conditions. That makes targeted conservation and local management powerful levers for rebuilding reef cities. Reefs feed hundreds of millions, support artisanal and commercial fisheries, harbor molecules used in medicine research, and are cultural landmarks for coastal peoples. Losing reef cities would mean lost food security, lost cultural identity, and larger floods. The ripple effects go far beyond the reef itself. From the smallest spark of life to entire underwater kingdoms, Coral reefs stand as living monuments to time itself. They rise silently from the depths, shaped by currents, storms, and the endless rhythm of the ocean. Each reef is a masterpiece in motion, alive with color, sound, and purpose. Beneath the waves, millions of creatures weave together an ecosystem so intricate that every breath, every flicker of movement sustains the whole. But these magnificent cities of life are fragile, a delicate balance between creation and collapse. Their survival depends on the choices we make above the surface. Protecting them isn't only about saving beauty, it's about preserving the heartbeat of the oceans that sustain us all. Because in the quiet pulse of a coral reef, the planet itself is speaking, reminding us that even the smallest lives can hold the greatest power to keep our world alive. If this video gave you a new perspective on coral reefs, give it a like and share your favorite moment in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring the hidden wonders of our planet, subscribe for more fascinating stories like this one.